start up. I wanted to explain my good evening, Mr. Alfred Hitchcock, from one of his programs. You could probably barely hear him, but I learned a lot from history. I also learned that when I do these videos, y'all deserve, and I deserve, it comforts me knowing that I'm giving you everything I have in me. You deserve eyes, you deserve features, not just words on a paper or on a site. So, I thought about typing out a long explanation of Scavenger Ronnie's beginnings. Now, I was blessed, and I've spoken of this several times, probably too much. I was blessed as a child. I had the singularly perfect mother, the singularly perfect females and men, women, girls, men and boys to learn from and with and beside. Plus the fact that my blood father is and was not just a preacher, although never baptized as a preacher, whatever. He was baptized, but he was also Army, Navy, Air Force, and Southern. So I learned a lot from all aspects, even though Father was 1,000 miles away almost. And my family, we grew up here in Parsons, Kansas, and on the outskirts of town is where we wound up living when I was 7.5 years old, on Grandpa and Grandma's land right next to them, right next to an aunt and uncle. And that aunt and uncle changed 2 times because one was an aunt and one was an uncle. So we had marriage, of course. Cousins galore. We just knew all the family on the Warwick and Gear side. And I knew all of them on the Caple side too, but very seldom. But Scavenger Ronnie began at age 7.5 with that move. And Grandpa and Grandma, they were farmers. Well, Grandma worked outside the home. Grandpa was a farmer, and Grandma was a farmer's wife. They raised cattle, pigs, whatever. They had horses, including a Shetland pony that bit my aunt, my ex-aunt. We still laugh about that one. I love her to death, though, my ex-aunt. So I was also raised as a farmer. Now, I don't do that anymore because that side of our family has either passed on or they've been forced because of money to move into other areas as well. Dad is gone, Grandpa is gone, so I don't have any opportunities to help out on farms anymore. Beautiful work, loved it. Even the extreme, back then, extreme Kansas dog days of summer and the winters. The extreme Kansas winters back then. Not like today's weather, summer or winter. But Grandpa and Grandma belonged to a community of friends and neighbors and acquaintances. And these guys were all elders, most of them. and their families, which were also younger to my age and younger. So they had community meetings that we would go to as kids with them, with Mom, and when Dad came in, with Dad also. And we would learn so much. Y'all ever hand crank ice cream, homemade ice cream? The adults went inside the old church, the old schoolhouse, and they would play pinochle or something, and us kids would be cranking. We would take turns, and it's tiring, but oh man, it's delicious. But we would also learn about history from people who lived it, and from their memories of people who lived history. And I started getting curious and listening more, asking questions. I could go to anybody and they would talk for hours. And I loved listening to them. I didn't have anything else to do I wanted to do. I mean, I loved fishing, I loved exploring, I loved this and I loved that. I would sell at age 8. But at age 7.5, I was learning the process. And I began to learn. I always saw, once I moved there, but even before then, old houses, empty houses. And I always wondered about them. With the move, I had the opportunity to meet the owners, to talk about those houses I was walking by, riding my bicycle by, riding. When I turned 9, Dad got us mini bikes. I was riding my mini bikes by all day sometimes. Daylight hours only. I'd be home by dark. Unless I was camping with my friends. But my parents and everybody knew we were camping, so no problem. So, somewhere along the line, and I don't remember the first house or the first family, whether it was my family guiding me to a dump site or of ours, or telling me about the owner of this dump site that used to be there. I went to the people and I would get permission, and they would gladly give it. There ain't nothing there worth anything. My eyes might have turned big and, huh? Want to bet? So this is where Scavenger Ronnie began. And as I grew, it increased. I have been in every format of perfect homes, well-kept, evacuated homes, no longer ever lived in, and the worst of the worst that you can imagine of dangerous homes. In all that time, I think I determined it was 53, 54, 55 years now doing that. All that time. Not one bee sting, not one spider bite, not one, yeah, you get the occasional tick that you pull off and throw away. You get the mosquito here and there. No animal danger, although I have been within, and I mean literally within 2 foot of a mother raccoon, possum, skunk, and their cubs. Nothing. Not even a hiss. Because of me, my attitude towards them, my respect and my non-fear. Not everybody can do that just because they respect and don't fear. Not everybody. I have also went into such damage that you had to be extremely cautious. I guess I know how to look at that. You have to be extremely cautious of where you put your foot, where you put your hand, where you put your knee, where even you put your head and eye and body. Not once have I had more than maybe a splinter or two, and none that I remember. No broken limbs, no cuts, no scrapes really that I could even remember. I am extremely wise about that, because even as a child I knew that I was human. I am human. Humans get really very excitable, enticable, and I'm sorry to use the term, but ignorant when it comes to finding something wow, being scared, being in a dangerous situation. They make mistakes. I go slow. I do. I dig everything. Unless it's really gross. I mean, if I know enough, and I knew enough back then, if it is really gross, it ain't worth going after unless there's gold laying on top or something. I've never, well, besides minor gold ring and things like that, I've never found gold. I have found some silver jewelry, never worth a lot, but everything I pull out is worth money. My time is, if I don't do this, what am I going to do? I'm 61 years old. I'm basically disabled because of past injuries, which have healed now because of my determination and with the help of modern science to some extent. And I know how to treat people with respect, how to honor where I am and who I am speaking with and why. And if forced to, why not? But that is so seldom. I know how to honor my beliefs and who I should be, who I am, as a businessman and as a human. And that makes me, in my view, a person worth looking at and considering if you feel you have anything that could be salvaged, could be scavenged, could be rescued, and could make you and me money. So folks, blessings.